All right, welcome back to the NABF podcast brought to you by the Baseball Bluebook. My name is Eric Wilbenaw, the host and the owner of the Baseball Bluebook, and we are excited to have the head coach of Roane State with us, Cam Hamsley. Coach, how are you today?
Awesome, Eric. I appreciate you having me on, brother. It's always a blessing to be able to talk some baseball, and NABF has been a big deal as far as since I've been at Roane getting rolling in here. So I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. I appreciate that. And before we begin, encourage everyone who is watching the podcast on YouTube, make sure that you are subscribed. We have new podcasts coming out every week. If you're on your audio podcast platforms, make sure you subscribe and share. We are excited to have you as a guest with us, Coach Hamsley, and a few years with the program. Before the first thing that we do is we like to hear the story, kind of the journey of that you took to get to being the head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I will say is the Lord has really blessed me so much with the journey of what I wanted to do. I was a terrible baseball player, like fighting to get at bats in varsity as a high schooler. Had such a terrible arm path that I had to have Tommy John surgery. I wasn't even a pitcher, so that pretty much like nailed down my senior year of high school to where I couldn't play. So it kind of inadvertently and forced me to, I don't know, do managerial things and things to kind of help the program in different ways. And so I reached out to, at the time, I would have like Coach McClure at Austin P. And my high school coach at the time, Michael Brown, was like, I know you would like to keep playing, but you would really, really be good at coaching. Um, so I tried to get involved kind of at Austin P and kind of the same message rang like, hey, you just need to, if you want to do it that bad, like just kind of try to stay involved in baseball, coach, and do some things. So that's what I did. I just got involved in coaching locally in high school while busting my butt as much as I could to get through college as fast as possible at Austin P. Got my master's from Union University in Jackson. And then I went and coached back in my high school, Pope John Paul II Catholic School in Hendersonville, just outside of Nashville. During that time, we went to like 5 straight state tournaments. It was all because of me and my coaching, not because of the players. No, we just loaded with a lot of really, really good players, and I learned from just a lot of awesome coaches to be around. But some of those players that were on that team was like Mason Hickman, who pitches in the Indians organization right now, Jake Rucker that went to Tennessee and then is with the Twins, Ben Brooks, who went to Memphis and then is the recruiting coordinator at Tennessee Tech. So, and that's just a couple. Like I could name you off some more pitchers and things like that, but like we were just loaded. I was just getting to show up and look really, really good, and help call, help discuss with our pitching coach about calling pitches and things like that. So that was kind of where it started. In that meantime, I was working at Old Hickory Bat Company, doing
Okay.
production work and some sales. So it's a really cool opportunity to kind of be involved in there because you get to be kind of connected with a lot of things going into professional baseball, and you get to meet some cool people, and that's really awesome. So just being able to be involved there and be able to tell people that I was directly involved with making like Mike Trout's bats
Yeah.
and then like things like that. It's really cool. Then while I was there, um, basically the head sales guy, Travis Copley, had the coach that was the head coach at Roane State kind of reach out to him asking about me. It's like, hey, like I really need an assistant. I need some help. And so I went. I came to visit Roane State, and um, I guess if I were to say if you were to come visit here, at least at the time you get here, there's nothing here. I mean, it's like in between Cookeville, Tennessee, and Knoxville. It's mountainous. It's right as you go into Eastern time. There's nothing. All they had there was a baseball field, okay, and like a barn in the back. And it's very much like, how do you tell kids, hey, we're going to bring you here to JUCO and develop you and move you on? Like, there's nothing really here to invest that, but I just felt like the Lord was calling me to be here. So I kind of just jumped in and started helping with recruiting because, whether I know what I'm talking about or not, I do like to talk and I can look like I really know what I'm talking about. So I just helped him with recruiting and basically after a year, he left like a week before the season started and took the pitching coach job at Tennessee Wesleyan. And I just kind of got thrown into this interim role, and I was in it for like 10 or 12, long time because it kind of landed right after that COVID deal.
Yeah.
So weird timing to start as a head coach, and then like at the time I was the youngest head coach in our conference, and it was just a lot going on. And now I'm about to start year 4 as the head coach, and just super super blessed to be here and kind of go through what I've been through, and just really fired up to kind of talk about our program at Roane some more, and also talk about NABF and why I think they do such a good job. So I appreciate you having me on to do all that.
Yeah, that's great. Let's start with the NABF because you gave me a really good story beforehand, kind of how you created the relationships
Yeah.
and what you saw kind of in the past. So I'd love to kind of hear your take on the NABF, and how it's helped your program and you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So when I came to Roane State, it's a junior college that's an outskirt of Knoxville. Well, I'm from Middle Tennessee. When I tell you, I did not know anybody, not a soul from East Tennessee. So to be a coach and start kind of getting involved and being really outgoing to do that, one of the first places I got invited to was to an NABF. So they were having their showcase in the summer. Buzz, that's my guy. He was a head coach at West High School at the time, and they were having the showcase there and kind of starting up the event. And that was like the first time. It was like I got to see all these players. I got to, just not only locally, but like teams coming in, and the way they had that put together was really well. And then to be able to piggyback that onto, the games format they had and how easy it was to kind of see everything. It's just, it was something to where that was my true introduction into recruiting as a college coach. Right. And then, for them to kind of have that staying power to continue to have this every year and it do so well and it bring out so many coaches and solid ball players, it's helped me a lot because it gives me the chance to potentially use some of my out of state waivers on guys that are out of state. And then I'm always getting to see, teams of players that are coming in, whether they be locally or, just regionally. And that's always beneficial for me. So yeah, I don't have anything but great things to say about what they got going on for, to benefit the player. It's one of the better events out there. You got a lot of events that are, I wouldn't say taking money, but they're just, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Baseball is an expensive sport, and as a coach, I can say, um, I don't care if a kid wants to wear flashy stuff and things like that, but I'm looking for dirt bags, and I'm not saying dirt bags can't wear all the flashy stuff or afford it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like baseball in its truest sense is I need a
Yeah.
baseball, I need a bat, no matter what it looks like, and a glove, and like I just want to see kids that all they want to do is play baseball, and that's all that matters to them is playing, playing, playing. So to have an event like NABF that I feel like maximizes the kids being seen and also it being so affordable is just it's awesome, and that's why I continue to come back for it every year. So
I'm down in the Ozarks, and so you're middle Tennessee, Ozarks in Missouri, pretty
yeah,
similar. I've been to your neck of the woods. I always relate it to there's a theme park here called Silver Dollar City down in Southwest Missouri. You can
yeah,
go to Silver Dollar City and experience all the glamour of the Ozarks, or you can literally get a tent and a canoe, and you can go actually live and vacation out in the real world. I kind of look at it that way, right? You could have both are kind of providing you the same things, but one is really authentic, and that's what I love about the NABF. It's an authentic look. It's not about money. It's a bunch of volunteers. Been around since 1919. They do a phenomenal job of providing an opportunity for kids to go out there and just show what they've got. And I love that. Love being part of that as the Baseball Blue Book. Coach, I appreciate you kind of doing that shout out with them. Now let's talk about kind of what you're looking for. It's community college. A lot of things are changing in the landscape of baseball.
yeah,
Typically, community colleges are sellers of their products. I like using the buyer-seller relationship in the baseball terms. But
Yeah.
with the transfer portal, now I'm seeing a lot of community colleges being kind of a buyer potentially. Maybe some of these guys coming down and going, maybe I overstepped where I needed to be and need some more development. What's your take on this, and how do you build this program to kind of meet the needs of what the baseball community is looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of all, I just want us to be very eclectic. What I mean by that is like if I'm putting together a championship roster for me and what we have going on for us, it's going to take a little bit of everybody. And what I mean by that is like I'm going to have to get the 4 year transfer. I'm going to have to get the JUCO transfer that needed to change of scenery. I'm going to have to get the high school kids locally. I'm going to have to pull some kids out of state that are coming in from high school. And my roster, it's going to be like very much a group of people that come from all these different backgrounds. It's coming together to kind of build what we're trying to do here, which is build our program into a championship winner. So I think that's probably the best way to explain it to you about what I'm trying to put together. What I'll say about that is how much that has changed since when I started at Roane compared to COVID, like one season and then COVID hits, and then after that, and kind of
Yeah.
what happens from there. So, Roane had a lot of success in the 80s and 90s, and then has been so just irrelevant for the last 20, 25 years. And so when I got to Roane, kind of my plan of recruiting is okay, like we have a field and we don't have anything else to recruit towards. Like we're still very rural where everybody else we compete against, those areas grew up. So like Roane
Yeah.
State's still the only junior college athletics program in the state that you can't get to a Chick-fil-A within 10 minutes. That matters. Okay. So I say all that to tell you when I started, I said, okay, I'm going to get as many guys as I can and get them to just compete their tails off, and we'll find what's the best product to put on the field. Um, what that kind of turned into was yes, that happened. And I really grinded through recruiting in that way. But also because of that, maybe we had all these guys, but a lot of them came to Roane maybe because they were like, well, I don't know what I want to do. I guess I'm going to play baseball. And so it may not be the quality of player overall that you want. Still love those guys, honored to coach them. I'm just saying, like the quality of player you're getting.
Yeah.
And so we push Roane State so much to be like, look, like we can win again here, but we got to have something nobody else has that makes us, somewhere people want to come play. So last year, they opened an indoor facility for us, brand new indoor facility. Nobody else really has anything like it. And that's been a game changer for us because I'm essentially half of a team into recruiting with that indoor facility. And we won 28 games this past year, which is more games than Roane State's won since 1991. I wasn't even born yet. Again, like I'll tell you, it was all me. It wasn't the players. It was all coaching. But no, I have a really, really good assistant coach, Garrett Dalton, who I brought on 3 years ago, right when I started this thing as a head coach. Just kind of like really getting rolling. My advice is finding people that are extremely loyal, and us building something that really a job that like nobody else really wanted. Like it's a tough place. Well, now we've built that into we won more games than any team since 1991. We won more conference games since anyone since 1991. And we've won games in the tournament 3 straight years. So something to where we're able to say we're now building to where we're being a contender. How are we doing that? Well, now we have that indoor to recruit to. So now when I have kids that enter the transfer portal, and they are looking for somewhere to go, maybe they're looking because they didn't get to play and they
Right.
just want to play. They just want the opportunity to play. Well, if that's you, if that's somebody that's in that situation, I'm gonna bring them on my campus and be like, look at this indoor facility we got. Look at this new weight room we're building. I have everything you could absolutely ever want to have here, and you're going to play at a junior college. And if you want playing time, you want to get on the field, if you can't do it here, you're not going to be able to do it somewhere else. So like, let's get at it, And I still bring in really high numbers in the fall because of a couple reasons. At Tennessee, we have T in Hope and Promise. So if you graduate from T in high school and you have 21 or 3.0 on ACT 21 or 3.0 GPA, your tuition is paid for. So it's an opportunity for you to go to junior college and get that paid for to start. Core classes at Roane State are going to be the same as a lot of 4-year programs. So why not start out in a smaller classroom environment? And
Yep.
then on top of that, it's like, well, I want a lot of guys in the fall. And the reason I do is you cannot get a full read, a true read on a kid, and really for the kid too. It benefits the kid more than even the coaching if you don't play, and I don't get to see you play. And so, one, getting to see a kid play in a inter squad or a game that is at our field versus his other teammates. Like if you can't play hard and show me you love the game there, like that's prime. That's like
Yep.
the prime spot. But what I love about it is if I have more guys competing, they know I'm upfront with them about how it's going to look. But they get done with fall and they're going to have 60 plate appearances or more compared to somewhere else that maybe has less guys. They can't get that many. They can maybe only get 30 to 40 plate appearances. Well, if that's the case, I know for me, I wasn't a good player. So there were plenty of times where I had 30 ABs where I looked really, really bad, and I would hate for that to be in a fall where really a
Right.
coach or a team that's when he's making his decisions off who he's taking, who he's not. So I kind of spin those things, the indoors somewhere where I can develop you, and you have the time and commitment in place to just grow as a player. Our weight room is new, so it's somewhere that you have to invest in that, so you're peaking at the end of the season and growing all the way through. And then having so many guys there, I think in the fall gives you the opportunity to play a ton, and as long as you're open to that. It's kind of yielded towards obviously where we've flipped the program around. Still got a long ways to go. We like in my mind as a head coach, I'm like, we hadn't done nothing yet. Like
Yep.
28 games, that's great, but that's we're moving forward. But the school has now said we expect to win in athletics, and they're doing things that are going to help us do that. So for me, getting the
Isn't
right
that
guys in the
isn't
field.
that funny? Isn't that funny how you raise the bar and then the expectations change, right? It's it's a catch-22. It's a good thing, right? Keeping that bar, continue to raise that bar. So, Coach, let's you talked about kind of bringing in the players, and I really like that. You said it helps the player, it also helps you guys, and that's what's so nice about junior colleges, community college level, is you got the fall level, you got the fall season, you got the spring season, so you got an opportunity to play significantly more games. Talk about some of the challenges with bringing in a lot of these players beyond just the benefits. What are some things that you really have to work through? And again, we have a lot of players and parents listening to this, so part of the reason I'm asking is it's the challenges that you have, but what's some of the advice that you can give to the players, parents that are potentially looking at Roane State?
Yeah. Well, before I get into that, real fast, I will say like one of the things I saw early when I first, going to an NABF event, when they bring all those teams in there and they're able to run a showcase and get all those dudes in and out of there in less than a full day is phenomenal to me. So that was one of my credits to like learning, like, wow, like that's a really efficient way to do that. But I guess my advice would be, everybody's got the dream of where they want to go and what they want to do. But I would say one, like do your best to stay in the moment of where you're at right now, wherever that is, instead of just like forcing yourself into something else, or where you want to be. That's number one. Number two, like, um, really, really evaluate what matters to you. Is it playing? Is it being a part of a team? Is it playing only if it's at a XYZ school? Is it the academics also have to match? Like that, really evaluate what matters to you because my advice is like, yes, we all want to play at Division 1 or whatever, but like if if that's like such an adamant part for you, then you may not be as on fire about it. Or you may not love it as much as you think when you get there, because we do stuff all the time. That would be my number one. Number two, and I know this sounds wild because it like pains me to say it, but it is the world we live in. Is go where you're wanted. You obviously don't have to stay there long. Like if you do well there, you're going to get to move on and go somewhere else, potentially, right? Like everybody, all these kids just enter the portal from D1 schools. It may be the last time they're ever at a D1 school, but in their mind, they think they're going to move somewhere else to a D1 school. I don't know. Maybe they
Right.
don't. Maybe in their mind, they're thinking too, like I said, that, hey, I was at this D1 and cool. I got to put on the jersey, but I didn't get to play. Like I want to play, right? So there's all different ways to think about it. I think I would say the mantra that people say about go where you're wanted, go where it gives you the best opportunity to play baseball if, you don't have limited opportunities. I just think, that's a part of it too. I think it would be crazy to say like if any D1 school were to offer you a scholarship out of high school, unless maybe it just seems extremely unaffordable for a kid not to take it. Like they're not going to say no, thank you,
Right.
But I hope that we have some ambassadors in our game that like maybe that D1 coach, and I can name a lot of them that have done a good job with it. Hey, like we really like you. Right now we could offer you a walk on spot, and that that's an option, but our advice to you really would be like you need to go play at XYZ, and then like we're gonna follow you.
Right.
I think for high school kids now, it's crazy. Like this summer where we're in, uh, if you're not a stud JUCO player that hasn't already signed, now the portal's open. So
Right.
now all these programs are going to see who can they land out of the portal of guys that actually played at 4-year schools, not are just in the portal, but actually played at 4-year schools. And now we're looking for somewhere else. Can they land those guys? If they don't land those guys, then they're going to have to circle back to those JUCO guys that can either wait, which is a risk, or do you have anything right now? Some of them do, some of them don't, and going ahead and committing to those schools that want you, right? And it goes the same for the high school kid. It's just be mindful. It's honestly, um, talk about human tendency. Like college baseball at every level now is ruthless, gutless, painful, not fair. So my advice to come back full circle is you got to make sure you love playing baseball in whatever the sense of that nature is, because there is nothing guaranteed to you, um, and there's no loyalties anywhere. So if you have the chance to go be around a team of people or a coach or somebody that just really makes you feel like they are invested in it for the right reasons and doing the right things, I think that's a good place to be. Obviously I brag on my program, but like in Tennessee, like me, you got me and my assistant coach Dalton, who just we're young, high energy, and he compliments me and all the things I'm weak in. We're a great program. Well, Walter State's been a traditional program for a long time, and they've got Dave Shelton and Mike Korn now, who was at Columbia. Those guys are best friends. Aaron Bryant and Grant are at Cleveland State. They do a great job. Chat State won our conference last year. They've got Coach Dennis, Coach Fleener, Coach Dion. They're awesome. Just in the Knoxville area, Tennessee's the best team in college baseball. Johnson University has Dave Serrano, who's going to build a giant NAIA program. Tennessee Wesleyan goes to the World Series every year in NAIA. Like, do you want me to keep naming programs here? Right? Like, I feel like we have a great community of coaches around here that that'll straight shoot you on what's best for you.
Yep.
And I don't, like that. That's what I would say is, we're all competing, we're all trying to, but I would like to hope that there's more goodness and less sleaziness going out there when it comes to helping kids
Yeah.
find what's best for them.
I appreciate you bringing that up, because I'll tell you what, with the position that I'm in and being able to interview so many coaches, these coaches all have the right intention, right? They want to help these kids. They want to find the right place. But on the flip side, they have to win. and they have to build a program together, right? So there's a balance where you can really find the maturity of the coaching staffs all across the country. And again, I appreciate you bringing up all those programs. And I guess that's back into a question: is you just named a whole lot of really good people. I mean, top guys, been around for a long time, good programs. Um, let's go back to the finding the right fit, because I think that's what you're talking about. Roane State has a fit. There's a character trait of Roane that the other ones don't have, and that comes with you. It comes with the location. What are some? Let's brag about the program. Let's talk about the overall community college, the atmosphere. What are some of the things that stand out that people need to take a look at and really evaluate when they're looking at where they want to go to play?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the for me promoting my level in my school is very easy. We don't have limits on practice, so you can do baseball as much as you want, and we can do it with you as much as we want. So that's a plus. Roane State in general, to be able to go in Tennessee or even Roane State, if you're a Tennessee student, you're getting Tea and Hope and Promise. At the D1 level, we get 24 NLI scholarships to use on top of that. So we're able to piggyback some of that to help you with housing and books or things like that. Not every guy, like I will say that too. That's why the Tea and Hope and Promise is so valuable, because I've got a lot more guys than 24 guys,
Right.
but those guys that are from Tennessee get to take advantage of the scholarships that taking care of tuition does, Tea and Hope and Promise wise. So that's a benefit in itself to be able to start and not put yourself at a financial disadvantage from the get go. And then as far as the playing side of it, it's going to give you the best opportunity to get on the field. And at Roane State, we obviously are getting more competitive, but I can say it gives you the best opportunity to get on the field. At Roane State, you don't have all the extra distractions everywhere else does. We have school and we have baseball. If your point of being here is to do well in school and focus on baseball, we are the best place for you, because when we're not practicing, I have an indoor facility that's open to you from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. once you earn it, because I make my guys earn being in there and doing those things. But you have that open to you. Then when we're not doing our team workouts in the new weight room that we've got, you have access to go do more. So I use that to kind of talk about, well, if you maybe didn't have a ton of offers out of high school, or if you're debating, okay, I've got these JUCO offers, but I've also got, this 4 year and this 4 year. Well, what are you weighing out to make that decision? Money, financials is probably one of them. What's most important to you? Is it, the school setting or the school environment, maybe private or public is a value, the financials that it costs you, the opportunity to get on the field sooner, or just wherever you start. I think the coolest thing that a lot of, or I guess I would say this, if you hear a program that says, like, if you come here, like, we're from the point you get here, we're all trying to win. Like, yes, if I have a third year guy and he's, like, he's older, like, obviously he's going to do better. I should want that guy there. My job's to win. Like, I've learned, like, there people are going to have things to say about you, whether you're winning or losing. The kids, like, you've got to run your program how you want to run it, because they're moving on to do whatever else they're doing regardless. So building what you're building. But if you have someone that's really trying to keep you somewhere instead of doing their due diligence to move you on, they may not be in it, for the right reasons, or maybe not enough for you, which it's definitely a give and take relationship. But like, the smartest thing is these 4 year programs now too, especially these smaller ones that are, hey, we want you to come here, we want you to start here, but if you're ready to go and move on, like, we'll allow you to do that. And that's the same message I give to my guys. Like, I don't have to keep you here 2 years. Like, my goal is to get you good enough to play at the next level. And so, whatever that next level is, everything above me, of us, really at the 4 years, a next level. And it's really just helping them get to where they want to get to. So, I think to present a program, for me, I talk to kids about what are my non negotiables. Like, well, if you come play here, what's that going to look like for you? What is making my program or our program, so special, that is now yielding success, and that would tell you, oh, if I'm here, it's going to help me move forward. And that's a give and take to that because,
Yeah.
I have pride in my program. There's certain things I'm going to run and do a certain way that I've learned through trial and error. Because I'm a young coach, I've definitely failed enough to get to how I want to run my program. But it also, the kid wants to make sure that he's getting the best situation too. There's no guarantees. Nobody can see the future.
Yep.
It's just both sides need to feel like it's what's best for them.
I think that's great. We are on with Coach Hamsley, Roane State, and appreciate the opportunity to just chat it up, talk about Roane State and what the program looks like. Give me your thoughts on just the changes. Transfer portal. Last time I looked, there's 33,873 kids that were in the transfer portal.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Oh man, like I wish this was like honestly, I wish I could just get to know you better instead of answering questions like this. But I would say baseball now is just 1 year free agency. That's all it
Yeah.
is until they put some kind of regulations on my level all the way around. It's like it's 1 year free agency. And I think what I would say to anybody here is because coaches aren't always completely loyal to their people either. Like their job is to go find someone better than who they have, right? Like
Right.
that is the goal. But what I would say is like if you are somewhere and you have people that are loyal to you or invested in you, the grass is really not greener on the other side. Like the people, especially now because it is 1 year free agency, and you may think that this is out there, that's out there. Even from the coaches too, we're like, we're going to let go of this guy because we think we can get this guy or
Right.
whatever, right? I just don't always think that's the case. So just try to surround yourself with people that you think or hope are loyal that you can trust. And I know that's humanity. It's sometimes we get fooled, but what I would say is like that's the best thing you can do for yourself because I think we all think that the grass is greener somewhere else. Instead, we should just be watering our grass as much as we can right here. And I think what makes it even harder than that now is. Um, I think it's awesome that they're trying to pay player or like players can get paid a little bit, but I think that's a kind of like a wagering game now too. That it kind of it's just a lot. It's a lot, and I say I'm blessed to be a young coach at a JUCO because I feel like I've done everything under the sun at this level to be like if I ever go somewhere else. And someone's like, well, like you've been at a JUCO, can you handle NCAA? Can you? I'm gonna be like, you name it, I've already done it. But um, one thing I haven't is like I haven't dealt with having to pay players
Right.
that are not scholarship. It would have been nice, I think, if it just went the other way, where like why didn't we make sure that the NCAA was just if a school wanted to give full scholarships, like what I mean is like if you can have 35 people on a roster, then you're able to give 30, full scholarships.
Yep.
And I wish they just would have went that route first. But I know it all, like football's always had like not unlimited, but full scholarships.
Right.
So it's like when all that started to happen, it's just, I don't know. It really is messy and I don't have an answer solution. I just think that there needs to be some kind of regulation put on that makes both sides, a coaching staff and a player, somewhat more committed than just uh,
Yep.
1 year free agency.
Yeah, Coach, you're absolutely right. It's I think the real the real advice is don't get caught up on a lot of these things, right?
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you're trying to build a program, bringing the right people in. That's why it's important for parents and players to take the time and find that right fit. Coach, you talked about fit. It's about financial. It's talk about location. It's talk about degree, what you want to study. That's really what this is all about, right? At the end of the day, your play will your performance will get you wherever you need to go.
yeah.
And in the meantime, find the place that fits. And I think Roane State is a fantastic place. Coach, I appreciate the opportunity to get to know you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like I said, just fired up about NABF getting rolling this summer, and it's always an awesome event in Knoxville, and everybody involved with it. So I'm grateful you asked me to come hang out and talk with you a little bit today.
I appreciate that. July 17th and 18th in Knoxville in the Christenberry Park. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Eric. See ya.